I'm going to solve this challenge with explanation. Yeah, it is in Python, higher rank in Python, and one of the basic problem-solving challenge. Let's start. All right, right. Yeah, to precise. Okay, so whenever we see a new challenge, the easiest way is always to look for the sample input and output at the beginning, because if we look at the formula explanation first, like people can easily get confused. Yeah, so as I mentioned before, first sample input output, and then we read the task and to understand what exactly problem we are going to solve. It saves time dramatically. Okay, so the task is Raghu is a shoe shop owner. His shoe has X number of shoes. His shop has X number of the shoes. He has a list containing the size of each shoe he has in his shop. There are n number of customers who are willing to pay xi amount of money only if they get the shoe of their desired size. Okay, and your task is to compute how much money Raghu earned. All right, so Raghu has a shop with X number of the shoes, and also there's a list to telling what are the exactly size available among that X number of the shoes, right? And then next is again n number of the customers who are willing to pay X amount of money only if they get the shoes of their desired size. So that means if the size which the customer wanted is available, then the deal is done, and Raghu is going to earn that amount of money, yeah, like xi. Otherwise, the deal cannot be done. And then at the end, we need to output the result of the accumulated amount of money that's earned by Raghu. Right. So now let's look at the input format. Okay, so the first line contains X, the number of the shoes. Okay, so for example, this X, now in this case, X is 10, and then the second line contains the space separated list. So whenever we see space separated, we may have to use split function. Okay, yeah, and the list of all of the shoe size in the shop. Okay, so whenever we see the list of all of the shoe size, we should be aware to use for loop in this case. All right, so like in this example, there are this much different number of the size of the shoes available, and if we pay attention to that, we will know that this number shouldn't be in ascending or descending order. It can be any order randomly. Yeah, and beside that, you can see some number like 5, yeah, 6 is repeated. It doesn't have to be unique. Yeah, okay. So these are by the size of the shoe. Okay, so then the third line contains and the number of the customers. That means afterwards, yeah, like in this example, there are 6 customers, and it is again user input, and the next n lines contain the space separated value of shoe size desired by the customer and the xi, the price of the shoes. So like in the following, we should repeat for 6 times and enter the size and with the price the size of the customer dessert, and also the price of the customer, which customer we need to pay, and we need to repeat it for 6 times. Yeah, and so that is a sample input, and then the output is we need to calculate the amount of money earned by okay, and here's constraints. Yeah, like for shoe size is between 4 to 20, and the number of the customer is 20 to 100. Okay, this is not important. Yeah, and now let's read the explanation. So like for the, maybe we start from here. So the first customer, he purchased size 6 shoes for $55. Yeah, and then like when we write the algorithm, we should kind of check whether 6 is available. Yeah, 6 is available, and there is done. And then like we make the counter of the incomes as 55 here. Yeah, because the deal is done here. And then the second one wants size 6 again. Yeah, there are 2 size 6 available, and then deal is again done, and he's paying 45. Yeah, and then the third one again wants 6, but there is only 2 6s among the list, and yeah, so it's not available, and then we cannot add 55 here, and we skip to the next. The next is 4, and 4 is exactly 1 available, and then we just again add 40 here, and then the last okay, so yeah, and then the fifth one is 18. There is 118 size available, and then we add 60 here, and then the last customer wants size 10. Size 10 is not available, and then we skip it, and we return 55 plus 45 plus 40 plus 60, 200 as the output. Alright, this is basically the logic of the task. Okay, alright, now let's start. Okay, so, and maybe before start, we can briefly look at the explanation. So a counter is a container that shows elements as dictionary keys, and their counts are stored as dictionary values. Okay, yeah. So this is basically the function. Maybe we probably don't have to use all of them, but I guess this code is very important because we need this library import. We need this library to implement counter. Yeah, and then okay, so and then first of all is the first line contains X, the number of the shoes. Okay, so we can write shoes number, yeah, is equals to yeah, we should take the user input, right? So because if we directly put input here, like by default the input in Python is string, so but we need an integer, so that's why we use integer to convert. We use this function to convert. Okay, and then next is then the second line. Yeah, the next is to input the list of the different sizes of the shoes. Okay, so in this case, we probably need to, this is equals to, yeah, we need to use map, function map, that can implement the list. Int. Yeah, int is to, yeah, so the first int is definition. Okay, so yeah, input, and then dot. Yeah, because here there is the different spaces. as a gap. So in order to make the algorithm realize there is a space, that's why we need to use split function. Yeah, and then put one space here. I think that's fine. So this is these are the shoes size, and then the next is the number of the customer. Yeah, and nice of the certain line contents and the number of the customer. Okay, customers number is equals to set. We use it. Okay, and then the next, because we are going to implement the dictionary, right? The counter. So we should, as I mentioned, use a for loop. Because here is kind of repeat after you enter the number of the customer, and it repeats for 6 times, and each times it counts the size, dessert, and also the price that the customer is willing to pay as well, right? So range okay, so because so this one, the first element is size, and second is the price, right? So we can use a function size, comma, price equals to map. Yeah, map is again, we want to use list. Yeah, first is int. Yeah, so this is similar as this one. First int, we define the data type of the element, and then because this is kind of user input, we take user input. Yeah, so use input, and then because here is a space, so we use split, and then put one space. There's the gap. Yeah. That's all right, and then the next is we need to check because like every time when the customer wants a size, so we need to check whether the size is available on the list, right? It's on the list, right? So we can use this one. Yeah, we can use shoes. Shoes is basically the list that we have implemented. We have already implemented, and shoes, and then size is and then size, the size is the size here. It's kind of we check whether it is greater than 0. And then because first of all we should write we should set a default income value as the output. So here the income, so then only here the income can be income plus price. Yeah, plus the price which the customer is willing to pay. And then shoes size is equals to shoes size because for example here, if one customer takes 6, and then before it was 2, and one is if one is taken, it becomes less, right? Yeah. So that's very good. And then we print income. And let's try to run it. Okay, runtime error. Show size map. Okay, map has some problem. Don't worry, it's under control. Because all in all, the topic of this challenge is to use a counter. So here we need to implement a function counter to group it. Why? Because as you know, this number, whatever we entered is random without any order. So in order to group it, to make it in a proper way, like for example here, like somebody randomly enter some repeated number, right? And then we use function counter to make to segregate it, to differentiate it with the number of the elements and the element itself, the items itself. So like for example, after enabled function, it will become from the original data to this data, yeah, to be precisely. So is we count there 1, 2, like one shoes with size 2, and one shoes with size 3, one shoes with size 4, 2 shoes with size 5, 2 shoes with size 6. Yeah, likewise. So that is the sense of using the counter. And then later here we use this one, because as you know here, like here, whenever the user type the input, okay, maybe I can show you. It doesn't make well, okay, yeah, the sense is the first value is the size, and the second is the price. So that's why we are making here with the size and price to to input and to make it repeat for a number of times using for loop to repeat, right? And if this one is greater than 0, and to be frankly speaking, I'm not quite familiar with this line, and I referenced this code with using this website, but after I click the link, like the YouTuber, he doesn't explain. He doesn't explain the function. He just type and execute the code. I already write the comment below, and I will also share the link on my video description to you. If any one of you know what's the meaning of like the shoes and the angle bracket size, square bracket size. So and you please leave a comment below, right? And but briefly, this is like in my understanding, it's just to let the function to recognize the size, and then to check it back. Sorry, I think it's this one. Yeah, first to loop with to check each size of the user of the user imported customers, and then to let it recognize back with the list of the shoes, and then to check where is size 2 available here. Yeah, it's available, and the dear done, and yeah, if it's available, then we add the income, and then we minus 1 of the number of the size. We minus 1. Yeah, so this is the case. And now let's try again to execute. Alright, yeah, that's done. But like for this code, we can also make it more simplified. Like we probably type these two, and then like instead of shoe size equals to shoe size minus 1, we could put shoe size minus equals to minus equals to 1. Okay. Let's try again. Yeah, that's done. And also, I think by default we don't have to use double quote with the space, because by default, whenever we type split, by default is with a space. So let's try again. Yeah, that's no problem. And yeah, all in all, thanks so much for following my video. And in future, if I solve this problem, I will leave a comment on the here. And if anyone know why it works, and please comment on my video below. And anyway, wish you have a nice day. See you in the next video.